Growing up, I think I had a slight idea. I grew up watching or reading a lot of my dad's books, and I wanted to see the world. I wanted to visit all these amazing places, and somehow at that age, I thought the way to do it was actually go and buy things in those places and come back to sell. However, as I grew older, I fell in love with the corporate world. I wanted to rise in my career and all of that.
Growing up, I always envisioned myself being an entrepreneur. I had, a period between 9 years and 18 years where I kind of went all over the place, as most kids do. So there's a season I wanted to be a Catholic priest. And, later on, I wanted to work for the United Nations and different agencies. And then I had an uncle, I still have an uncle who is a software engineer and runs, builds enterprise software for governments in Africa and corporations. So I wanted to be a software engineer, and be like him and build enterprise software. But eventually by 18, I settled to what I actually always wanted before 9, which is running my own business.
When you're young, you have so many dreams and you think of so many things. You never know what exactly you're going to be. So no, I did not envision myself as an entrepreneur, but since I was at university, I used to love doing projects, creating ideas and bringing it to life. So I think it was something that I was always passionate about, where thoughts become things.
When I was 12 years old, I wanted to, so in the state of Minnesota, you can become a nanny or a babysitter at 12 years old. So I remember I was so ready to get out there and do my own thing out there that I started my own nanny kind of business. So I remember we were living in an apartment at that time. I made a flyer saying, I'm available after school hours and weekends to babysit. I posted it all over the apartment building and got people that were interested to reach out to me and do it. So I think I've always had that mindset of entrepreneur, what skills do I have? How can I contribute to society in some shape or form, but also how do I become profitable and make money out of it?
I think entrepreneurship for me started at a very young age, let's say from the age of 10, because I remember myself starting saving corporations with my classmates in school, and then at the end of each week would take the money and give it to one of the people in our circle. And then I advanced to other things like selling snacks and agricultural products to my classmates.
So when I was growing up, I didn't know what I wanted to be. My friends at school would be like, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an accountant, I want to be a lawyer. I think when I was 7, I had really big imagination. So I think for me, it was never about what I wanted to be, but what I wanted to do. And so growing up, I knew I wanted to help people and make an impact.
Growing up, I envisioned myself being an entrepreneur. And I think initially the first reason was to just be really wealthy. I think we admire people that are wealthy when we're young and they have a freedom and kind of status. But eventually the real reason I always knew I'd be an entrepreneur is I was really frustrated by everything. So you go on a bus or you ride public transport in most cities in Africa, and you're very frustrated and you can't stop thinking about a solution.
I think the true key to success in entrepreneurship is resilience. As a startup founder, I experienced challenges firsthand that come with starting and growing a business. There are many days and nights where it seems very hard to keep going. You see all of the odds that are stacked against you, and you're tempted to just throw in the towel and call it quits.
I know how challenging this problem can be, especially when you don't have the requisite skills and you have to solely depend on the skills of other people. And making the choice to upskill before coming to launch this platform is something that I definitely would want to redo if I was to start all over again.
The way I built the resilience to persevere despite those challenges is I was always driven to make sure that this works because there were so many people riding on it. Because we only have one lifetime, and even if you live for 50, 60, 80 years, that's a lot of time to actually go through multiple experiences and build something from the ground up.
I built up the resilience to overcome some of these challenges by giving myself no other choice, right? I remember that, when we launched, May 2021, I realized that I told the world, right? People now knew, people were congratulating, oh, wow, you went ahead, you did it. So I gave myself no other option. I had to figure it out. And I remember having to go to several offices actually.
So with every challenge that we face, I think it's an opportunity for us to be innovative and also address that challenge. Opportunity to create something new and address it in a way that's never been done before. I think for our journey, especially with DNA Health, the way that we've been able to tackle and address these challenges has been having a clear why. We knew why we started DNA Health. We knew what problem we were dealing with at the jump. We knew exactly how much people were being impacted by it. We knew what it meant to these people. We knew our target audience.
There are many challenges that you face as an entrepreneur, but how you build resilience is by making sure you don't let the downfalls define who you are. So no matter what challenges you come across, you have to tell yourself that you're stronger than that, and it's just a phase that you're going through, and eventually everything is going to work out if you work consistently towards what you're passionate about.
When you become an entrepreneur, there are so many challenges you go through. And my grandma taught me that every challenge is a day to learn. So if you have a day that happens without challenges, there's no point of that day, because when you have a challenge, you can immediately learn something new and you develop.
Don't go into a business that you don't understand and something you're not passionate about. I mean, the journey itself is frustrating. And imagine having to wake up every single day and do something that you don't love doing.
So for me, it's like just taking every step day by day. And of course, I pray about it, and then reflection. Reflection is huge. I think that's what a lot of us as entrepreneurs, we don't do. Thinking and reflection, looking at your actions before, looking at how you could have played a part, looking at how other people played a part. I think it's important that you hold yourself accountable and you realize that you are responsible.